Hi, boys and girls, and here we are on the surface of the sun. Yes, it is Florida in August, and it is
August 10th.
miserably hot. We're third of the way through this, and actually into September we got about 2 or 3 weeks of this heat during the day. At night it cools off, which is the biggest thing. But we still have 2 3 weeks in September of at least the low 90s. We won't be in the upper 90s and low hundreds anyway. So a lot of people wonder why I do or am doing some of the things that I'm doing when it comes to our elected officials. And I've been thinking about this even just in the past 10 or 15 minutes of our ancestors, those who went before us, and the things that they did. Um, and for one thing, um, prior to the revolution, um, our ancestors fought by using civil disobedience. For instance, the Stamp Act. Hey, Jeremy, glad to see you, buddy. The tea tax that they tried to impose on the people, and that didn't work out well for them because they went and they dumped the tea in the drink, and those are the two that come up off my mind. And there was other things that the King of England tried to impose upon the settlers here in the new nation, the new country, that they just didn't want to or would not abide by. And some people did. Some people did. You've always got a group of people who are just going to obey no matter what, and we still see that today. Um, and so, but as the king's demand or demands, plural, became more intrusive and more demanding, the people um, started pushing back more and more, and basically telling the king no and no and no and no and no. And so then we have the events um, that really led to um, the revolution, and I'm talking about the events at Concord and Lexington. Um, and guys, you've got British troops that are telling American citizens to hand over their arms, and that's where a lot of this. That's where and guys, this is we're big people here. That's where shit really hit the fan. Okay, and that's where things really kind of started going south, and the bloodshed really started beginning. And so from there, we've got the revolution and how that was all being fought, and 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 even in the midst of the revolution, you had people that lived here in the New World that were still wanting to be under the rule of the king. Um, Not everybody wanted a free nation, which boggles my mind, boys and girls, because why did they come here? Why did they come here if they didn't want they left England because they didn't want to be under the crown. They didn't want to be under that rule. And so they come here, and then when they have the ability to join a group of people um, who wanted to be free, all of a sudden now they're on the side of the king. And so a lot of this doesn't make any sense to me. And we have the same thing today. You've got these people out there that and we've given them kind of of new names today. We're calling them bootlickers and whatnot. And they'll willingly obey whatever they're told to do without question. And that becomes a real issue. And especially if we know our rights. And this is where this kind of gets complicated for some people, because just because we have the right to do something, is it morally right that we exercise that? And I get this. The Supreme Court has ruled on so much of this stuff in the last several years, especially the right of free speech. You can cuss out a cop and there's nothing they can do about it. Okay? You can do that. Is it really the right thing to do? No. You can flip off a cop and they're technically not allowed to do anything to you because it is a form of free speech. And I'll be honest with you, I can only imagine that these same things were done while we were under the British rule, where basically they told the authorities to fuck off. I'm sure they did, because that word is not new. And if you don't like that word, put your big boy pants on and grow up some. Okay? I just don't have time for this. Okay? People will use the word screw off. Hello, it's the same word. Boys and girls, it's the same word. Okay, yeah, it's a 5-letter word instead of a 4-letter word. Means the same thing. So let's put our big boy pants on and let's carry on with what's really going on here and what's really important. So when our framers, and I'm going to try to make this short, but it's hard to do this because there's a lot of information here. When our framers, so the war's over, blah, 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 and now we want to settle the country and we want to figure out the best type of government that we could possibly have. For the people, by the people. Okay? For the people, by the people. We are the ones that are in charge. It's interesting that all these elected officials, they are what? Public servants. They are supposed to serve we the people. And that doesn't mean that they go out there and serve us burgers. Okay? The way they serve us is actually defined within the very Constitution, the documents that they swore an oath to protect and defend and uphold. The way they serve us is to protect and defend our rights. They were never supposed to be the ones who make sure that we can, they were never sworn to keep us safe. That's not their job. Their job is to keep our nation safe by having a what? Well-organized, well-regulated militia. That, my friends, is a part of their duty. A well-regulated, meaning well-trained, well-organized, well-armed militia made up of who? We the people. That is not the military. That is not the military, boys and girls. Read the Second Amendment and read it for what it says. I wish they hadn't tried to hide the Dick Act of 1902, I think it is. You can Google it, you can find it, but it is no longer in the archives of government where it belongs. You cannot find it in the Library of Congress because they tried to hide it. And the reason they tried to hide it is because it exposes the fact and the truth that every American citizen is a part of the militia in some way, shape, or form, and therefore the right to keep and bear arms cannot be infringed. You know, we've got these states that are passing these laws that give us the right to carry. Excuse me, that's called the Second Amendment. We already have it. And when they try to put any type of a limit on that, that is an infringement. This is not complicated, boys and girls. This is very, very simple. You know, those documents were written at a 3rd grade level back in those days so that a reasonable child would be able to understand their rights. And we've got grown people today that have no clue what they say and cannot decipher it. It takes a lawyer to decipher what a third grader would know back 250, 300 years ago. That's how far we've fallen from the truth. But I want to get back to this whole thing, and I'm gonna try to make this under 15 minutes. It is not only the right of the people to keep track or account for the government. It's our duty. It's our responsibility to ensure that our government officials do the duty, do the job that they're supposed to do. Do you know that that's why they keep a surety bond or a performance bond? They carry a bond because that way if they don't do their performance and their duties according to the sworn oath that they took, we can sue them. We can attach a lien to their bond. And I'm hoping you Marion County Commissioners are listening. I'm back. And I'm coming. You guys are using your lawyer to do your dirty work. And I already know it. And I have proof. And your bonds are going to be at risk. I'm telling you. You're a bunch of crooks. And you think we're goofing around here. We're not. The first thing that needs to happen is that locked door needs to get unlocked. I don't care if you have a door there. During business hours, that door should be unlocked so people can walk right through there into the county commissioner's office. We do not have to wait for an escort. That's an infringement on travel on free people. And I've got other people that have already written me that they are very, very mad about that. People are not happy at all that locked door is there. And some people might think that's petty, but this is how this works. It goes back to the frog in the pot syndrome. Okay, put a frog in a cool pot of water, put him under a low heat, and that frog will never jump out of there and die. And that's what's happening to our freedoms. They're taking them away a little piece at a time, very, very slowly, under a medium heat. And they know it. Carl Zalak admitted way back when that property tax was unconstitutional. And then he says, oh, I never said that. I've got both videos. Guys, if we don't stand up for our rights, who the hell's going to do it? Nobody else. Nobody else is going to do this for us. It's an incumbent on we the people to control our elected officials. They don't have power over us. We have power over them. This is all flipped around backwards. And it's every aspect of government, from law enforcement to tax collectors to DMV to you name it. Every city council, county council, everybody, code enforcement, all of them. Code enforcement, what the hell are they? They have no legal authority whatsoever. Zero. None. They're not elected. They're not elected. They don't have any authority. Yep. All these are taxes, guys. All these are taxes. That's all this is. Taxation without representation. Which is exactly another one of the reasons why our founding fathers fought a war. All right, there's more coming on this, and I said I was going to keep it under 15. I'm at 14:30. Thank you guys for watching, and if y'all want to support, we can do things to phone calls. Listen, there's a lot we can do. If you can't get out there and physically help, there's other things you can do. And if you want to know, just write me and I'll tell you what I need. Thanks for watching.